Thank you. Um, all right. Well, thank you for joining me today. My name is Erin Dahl. Do you see what I see? On my screen here on the right, I see a figure of an elephant. However, not all people can. I'd like to introduce to you Microshades, an R package for improving color accessibility and organization of complex data. A little bit of background and motivation for this project was to create a color palette that is accessible to individuals that experience color vision deficiency, also known as CVD. A more common term for CVD is also colorblindness. And this roughly impacts 300 million people worldwide, which is comparable to the current US population. CVD refers to partial, but not complete colorblindness, and diminishes the ability to distinguish certain colors. The three different types of CVD are Deuteranope, Protanope, and Tritanope. Here I have a figure of a normal vision color wheel and simulations for each of these three forms of CVD. Deuteranope is the most common type of CVD and is known as red-green color blindness. Protanope is less common than Deuteranope and often described as a mutated red pigment and less ability to discriminate colors. Tritanope is relatively rare and known as blue-yellow color blindness. One of the current leading accessible palettes is the Okabe Ito palette, which you can see here shows the palette. It consists of 8 colors, which is great. And here is the simulation of the Protanope, Deuteranope, and Tritanope of this palette. When run in CVD simulations, you can see here that it is universally CVD friendly, which is great. However, this palette is limited because it's only contains 8 colors, which is often not sufficient enough for visualizing complex data. Our solution to this was to develop an R package that incorporates shading for expanding the number of colors available to 30, with the goal of continued universal CVD accessibility. Our lab also works with complex microbiome data, so we wanted to make sure that we could use these colors with our data and created functions within this package that will apply Microshades palettes and assist in additional data organization. We developed 2 Microshades palettes. However, for the purpose of this talk, I'd like to focus on the universally CVD-friendly palettes. If you're interested in looking at our other palettes, you can visit our website here and see the other ones as well. And on my screen, you can see that there are 6 base colors to this palette, with 5 sequential shades applied, and this results in a total of 30 colors. This next slide shows the Microshades CVD palettes under each type of CVD simulation. So you can see we have the Deuteranope, Protanope, and Tritanope simulation. In these, the colors are distinct and therefore accessible. Simulations for our other palette are also available on our website. Microshades palettes are easily accessed with our package and can be applied to any plot. Here shows a plot using the Tidyverse MPG dataset. And this plot examines car fuel efficiency on the highway and city in terms of miles per gallon. The points on the plot represent a car with a particular type of drivetrain and cylinder engine. So you can see here that there's 4-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive drivetrains, as well as 4, 6, and 8 cylinder engine options. And this first plot uses the default coloring system, which provides no meaningful order to the coloring. This next plot here uses Microshades colors, which allows the viewer to notice trends easier. Each drivetrain is a different color, so you can see here 4-wheel drive is green, front-wheel drive is blue, and rear-wheel drive is purple. And the number With this organization, we're able to visualize that front-wheel drive cars tend to have the highest city and highway miles per gallon. Additionally, cars with fewer cylinders tend to be the most fuel efficient. This color organization is not only accessible to all, but is additionally helpful in noticing trends. Another example of microshades in action is this microbiome data example, containing relative abundance data for various samples. In this plot, the colors represent different bacteria in each sample, and colors are determined by the default ggplot color scheme. This next plot contains the same relative abundance data with the same sample order, and this plot uses the accessible Microshades CVD's palettes. The colors are organized and better represent the phylum genus classification of bacteria found in samples. And if you look closely here at the firmicutes samples circles, the firmicutes, circled here, you can tell that the CVD colors drastically improve the distinguishability of the colors. The blue and green colors blend here, and so this could be easily lost or misinterpreted. This last plot uses Microshades CVD accessible colors and Microshades organizational functions. So within each of the vertical columns, the firmicutes phylum is now organized, so the layout of the data better improves visibility of trends. The most abundant genus is also the darkest shade, and this same organization is reflected within each of these vertical columns. Additionally, Microshades was used to generate this custom legend that further shows the organization of the data. Microshades also has functionality to create contribution plots that use the same hierarchical organization as shown in the previous plots, with the most abundant bacteria in a phylum as a darkest shade and lighter shades being less abundant. Additionally, if you want to use the same Microshades organized legend for a different data set, Microshades also contains the functionality to do so. So as you can see, there are many benefits of using Microshades, and a small change of using a palette that is CVD accessible will make your work interpretable to all. So thank you for joining my presentation. If you'd like to help us assess our palette accessibility, please scan this QR code and fill out our survey. It should be 10 to 15 minutes. Otherwise, thank you to Carson's Lab, and please visit our website and/or read our publication to learn more about how you can incorporate Microshades. Thank you.